So you want to rent in the South Florida market, but you're unsure about the process? I got you. My name is Bianca Procter. I'm a South Florida realtor that specializes in Broward County, Miami-Dade, and West Palm Beach. Now I'm going to teach you the process of what it is to work with a realtor and why it's beneficial for you. So let's jump right into it. Step number one, you're going to want to find a property, whether that's through Zillow, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. There are so many websites online that you can find a property. Now, you can either find a property through there, or if you want to work with a realtor from the get-go, you can reach out to a realtor and go onto an automatic MLS search. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to put you on an automatic search where anytime that there's a property that comes on the market that fits your criteria, whether you're looking for a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, whatever it is in a certain price range, it's going to automatically send it to your email. Now, when you are looking for a property, you want to make sure that you are making around 2 to 2.5 times more than the rent. So let's say you're looking at a property that's $2,000. You want to be making around $4,000 to $4.5K. Around that range. So that way you're able to cover your rent and also other expenses. Now, step number 2, you're going to want to make sure that you have your paperwork ready beforehand. Usually I've found that people don't have it until after they're ready to make an offer on a property, which is totally fine. But make sure that what you're sending is 2 to 3 months of bank statements and 2 to 3 months of pay stubs. Now, essentially what you're doing here is proving to the landlord that you are good to pay the rent every month. Whether you're sending them statements of your savings account, of your checkings account, whatever it is, the more that you're able to send, you can get a letter from your employer to further prove that you would be a good tenant and that you can pay on time. That is essentially what the landlord is going to be looking for. They're going to be looking for good credit, and they're also going to be looking for someone that can pay on time. Now, if you already know that you don't have good credit, which is totally fine, what I suggest is to put in a second security deposit. Now, typically in the rental market in South Florida, what you'll find is that people are asking for first month, last month, and security. So that's 3 months up front. You don't have to pay it all at once. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. That is essentially what you're going to be paying to move in. It depends on your situation and it depends on what you want to do and what you feel comfortable with doing. If you want to submit an offer and your credit isn't that great and you just want to submit it how it is and see how it goes, that's totally fine. Talk with your realtor. But it sweetens the deal a little bit more when you throw in a second security deposit or a little bit more money. Now, step number 3, once you find a property, you will let your realtor know, hey, this is the property that I want to put an offer in. I like this one a lot. I like how it's laid out, whatever. So what they're going to do most of the time, at least for my brokerage, is they'll send you a rental application. Now, what this rental application is going to do is it's going to pull your credit. So it's going to see what your credit score is. It's going to show you the background history as well as eviction history. Basically, all of these things come together and they compile together to make an offer. So that way when you present it to the listing agent and when you present it to the landlord, it's like, okay, now this is a really good tenant. You're also going to want to send a copy of your ID, either a picture or through email, either or. Now, for the rental application for my brokerage, it is $100 for 2 people and $40 every person after. So essentially it's $50 per person for the first 2 people. If you're one person, it's still going to be $100. But like I said, it does cover all of those things. Now, that's going to be different from any costs that the association has. If you like a property that has an association, what's typically going to happen is that they're going to have a fee themselves. Sometimes they're going to pull your credit. Sometimes it's really just to apply. It depends on the association. With that, some associations take 2 weeks, some take 30 days. So you want to keep that in mind when you are looking for a property, because if you know that it's going to take 30 days to get into the property and to get approved by the association, you're going to want to give yourself at least 2 months of looking and submitting offers. So that way, when you do submit an offer and it is accepted, you have enough time to move in and get everything ready before your lease expires or before you need to move out of the property that you're currently living in. Your realtor will also send you a contract to lease. Now, this essentially is the terms of the contract. What the goal is when you send it, you're getting it back signed from the landlord, meaning that you have an official offer that is ready to go and they've accepted you. If that is not the case and they reject your offer, that's totally fine. Make sure that you read your contract. That goes for any contract that you're signing, anything that you sign. make sure that you read it, because you're essentially obligated to pay that if you get it signed back. So let's say that you like a property and you submit an offer with a contract to lease, but then you're like, actually, no, I don't really like that property. If you get that contract to lease back signed by the landlord, you are legally obligated to pay the first month. And I'm sure you don't want to do that because you don't want to lose out on any of the money that you have. You've worked hard for your money. You want to be able to submit an offer and be happy with the property and be happy with the offer that you've made. Once the realtor sends you the rental application, sends you the contract to lease, you fill everything out, you read everything, then what they're going to do is they're going to compile everything. What I do is I compile the bank statements, the pay stubs, the rental application, the contract to lease, the picture of the ID. If you have any dogs and the property is allowing for dogs, the weight of the dogs, I compile that into an offer that I go ahead and send over to the listing agent. And they usually take about 2 to 3 days to review the application with their landlord and make a decision. If they decide to move forward with your offer, then that's great. You're gonna get the contract to lease back signed. If there's gonna be any changes made, then you'll be ready to move forward with the deal. If they reject your offer, it's sad, trust me, I know. It's annoying because it's the property that you wanted, but at the end of the day, that's out of your control. The good news is that once everything is compiled up and once everything is ready, you're able to go ahead and send another offer to another property. Now, the rental application, at least for my brokerage, it's a one-time fee, so you can use that for any and all properties that you want to submit an offer to, which is a good thing because once you have everything ready, if you go see something else that you like, that same day, your realtor can go ahead and submit an offer and hopefully get a response within the next few days. Now, step number 4 is you want to wait to hear from the landlord. I kind of talked about that a little bit before. It's not in anyone's control what they decide. It usually takes 2 to 3 days, sometimes a little bit more, because sometimes they're getting in offers and they want to review all of them and choose the best one for them. You kind of have to put yourself in their shoes because they want to find someone that's going to be a qualified tenant, that's going to be able to pay, and that's not going to give them any problems. The more that you're able to prove that, the better of a chance you'll have to be selected for that property. Step number 5, make sure that you have renter's insurance if it is required. Now, renter's insurance is usually not more than $100 a year. It just depends on where you go with it, but it's usually around that. It's to protect you in case of any damages. Usually the landlord is not going to cover that, so you have to make sure that you cover that on your own. And also, if the property does not come with water, electricity, all that stuff, make sure that you go and get that in your name if your offer is accepted. Step number 6 is payment. Make sure that you read your contract lease. That's very important because the payment is going to be on there. It's going to tell you exactly when you need to pay what. Usually the first month is due upon acceptance. So make sure that you have the first month's rent ready. The rest of the money is usually due when you move in. Again, make sure that you have the checks ready. Make sure that everything's good to go, so that way there are no hiccups and the deal can move forward with ease. Step number 7 is the walkthrough. Once your deal is accepted and everything's signed, everything's ready to go, there's going to be the day of the move-in a walkthrough. Now, what this essentially is going to be is you looking through the property, making sure that everything is up to par and good to go. Your realtor should be taking pictures of the property. You should be too. And your realtor should also have a walkthrough sheet that they fill out as you're walking through, or maybe they do it digitally when they get back to the office. Whatever the case is, you want to make sure that the property that you're moving into, like how it is, you document it, because you don't want to be responsible for any damages in the future. If a year from now you want to renew your lease and then the landlord comes to check and is like, oh, what's this? And that was there when you first moved in, you can be blamed for that if there was not some sort of documentation to prove that it was there before you moved in. So you want to make sure that you take pictures, and you want to make sure that your realtor is taking pictures so that way they can keep that on file. Now, commonly asked questions that I get, the biggest one, what is the commission? So the commission for a realtor that works with you is not more than you already have to pay. It depends on the agreement and what the MLS is listed as. What you'll usually find is that the realtor commission is half of the first month's rent. So you're already paying it. You're already going to have to go through the process of finding a property. Working with a realtor is just going to make it that much easier for you because they're going to be your right hand. They're going to be the one scheduling the appointments to go see the properties. They're going to be the one negotiating on your behalf, making sure that you get the best deal possible. They're going to be the one that you can talk to, that you can call, that are writing up contracts, that are essentially being your second hand throughout the process. It's a team effort. You do your part, your realtor does their part. And if it works, it'll be a beautiful thing. and it doesn't cost you more than you already are paying. Why not outsource the stress of moving and finding a property to someone that can actually help you, that has the knowledge, and on top of that, has the experience to be able to go ahead and guide you through the process. Second question, why do I need to submit so much information? Like I said prior, this is essentially just to prove that you are a good candidate for the property. The more that you're able to prove this, the better credit that you have, the more money that you have in the bank, the more that the landlord will choose you because you're a safe bet. Now, there's so much that happens behind the scenes that so many people are not even aware of. There is an element of trust that you have to have with your realtor. Make sure that your realtor is communicating with you throughout the process, because if you find already that they're not communicating and they're making you feel uneasy about the process, I personally wouldn't go with them. You want to find someone that is on top of it and at least giving you updates every time they hear something that's happened. Now, there are some things that are going to be out of your control and out of your realtor's control. One of those being the landlord's decision. At the end of the day, they're the ones that chooses whoever is going to be in that property because it's their property. Yes, it can be heartbreaking. Yes, it can be devastating and annoying when you've gone through several properties, made offers, and no one's picked you. At the end of the day, that is out of your control. If your realtor has done the communication, they've sent the offers, they've done the negotiations, they've talked, they've communicated, they're doing their job the best way that they can. And it is legally within the landlord's right to not disclose a reason if they don't want to disclose the reason. Obviously, it would be nice if they did give you a reason why they rejected your offer, but at the end of the day, they're not legally obligated to. Know that that is going to be a little bit of a hiccup. Don't blame your realtor if things do fall through. There are so many moving parts that most people don't see that are going on behind the scenes. So please know that your realtor is really doing the best that they can. At least I know for me, every client that I've had, I've always tried to do the best that I can. So that is the rental process in the South Florida market. If you are looking to buy, sell, rent, invest, my information is going to be listed down below. Book a free 30-minute consult call and let's see how I can help you and how I can be of service to you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel if you are interested in watching more real estate content. I will see you in the next video.